would think young people are excited to discover what the future holds for them. However, studies have shown that the second most common cause of death involves young individuals. Being mentally unstable can make you forget the minor reasons that make your life so important to you and those around you. Realizing that every person is at risk of going through a mental crisis creates consciousness among the world regarding this serious issue. One day you're said to be healthy. The next day, being alive starts losing its importance. My childhood best friend was a very important person in my life. I visualized ourselves working hard for a better future. I thought he was going to be on my side forever, since our lives were just started. Yet, I saw how his life suddenly ended. One day, he was done. Every year, many families lose their loved ones, some at an early age. Paying close attention to young adults' daily activities and being a present parent is key to preventing the life of young individuals from reaching its end. Today, I would like to talk to you about how you can create awareness regarding youth suicide, the early signs that indicate a teenager is going through a mental crisis, as well as parenting methods that can prevent suicidal or someone you may know. First, I will begin by describing the factors that cause youth to commit suicide and how their thoughts take over their action. According to an article from the Academy of Child Adolescent Psychiatry, psychiatric disorders are the most significant risk factors for youth suicide, with over 90% of victims found to have at least one mental disorder. Suicide can start as a joke. Social media has been creating challenges that end up in tragedies. Conversation about mental problems seems to be entertaining. Individuals camouflage their pain with humor. However, it's simply a way to hide their hard feelings that invade their minds. Sometimes emotions are kept in silence to avoid discomfort. But most people are not aware that mental problems can arise from a simple family issue, academic stress, as well as social pressure. Young individuals are vulnerable. They're afraid to reach for help and communicate their problems. Therefore, their life becomes a chaos and they end up attempting against their own lives. According to a study conducted by Professor Drummond, it stated that there are many more suicide attempts than actual death. Males are said to have a higher rate of successful suicides. However, more women attempt to kill themselves. Adolescence is a period where individuals start showing their identity, and most are afraid to be rejected by society. Therefore, they start getting involved in self-destructive activities rather than sharing their mental confusion with others. Overall, young people are expected to study and pursue an academic career to easily overcome any social, environmental, and family dysfunctional problems that appear along the way, as well as to look for a person to marry and have children before they reach their 30s. If you think about it, there is a lot of pressure over them. Furthermore, suicides are caused by psychological disorders that arise from a traumatic event or problems that seem to have no solution. An example would be domestic violence, in which adolescents feel ashamed to tell others the problems they have at home. Yet, those problems affect them in school, work, and in their social relations. On the other hand, discovering one's self-identity is a very confusing stage of adolescence. For this same reason, homosexuality often leads to suicidal behaviors. Young people become isolated by their loved ones. The lack of support becomes a direct consequence of suicide among gay teenagers. In addition, depression is a major contributor of teenage suicide. Losing interest in conventional activities that used to bring pressure lead to dark thoughts, which end up in suicide. Elizabeth Perez, an expert on anthropology of religion, stated that changes in sleep patterns, eating habits, as well as low self-esteem are aspects that make people become hopeless about the future. After giving detailed information of the causes of youth suicidal, I will explain how society and religion act as an opposing viewpoint on this topic. Traditional beliefs that homosexuality is wrong are factors that lead to suicidal among teenagers who are starting to find their sexual identity. Christianity supposedly helps individuals to find peace within themselves after they have committed a sin. However, they believe that homosexuality is cataloged as an immoral act and is not accepted by this religion. Homosexual teenagers whose families' beliefs are based on Christianity are often rejected by their relatives, causing mental problems and depression, which leads to the need to attempt against their lives since they feel like a disappointment to their relatives. Moreover, young people are simply discovering their sexual orientation and looking for support. Yet, they encounter no acceptance and are cataloged as mentally ill, sick, and are discriminated. In other words, society causes teenagers to feel overwhelmed by rejection. Therefore, they commit suicide. In general, individuals who commit suicide are said to be a lost cause or mentally weak. However, instead of helping adolescents who need mental guidance, those who believe in religion catalog suicide attempts as a sin, because for them, life represents a gift from God, and is forbidden to commit such a horrible act. In contrast, I do not believe that making others feel embarrassed is the most practical method to help them prevent the idea of committing suicide. Now that you're aware how society and religion can speed up the process of youth suicide, I will develop a plan of action that can eventually reduce youth suicide in this world. The first step to prevent more suicides among young individuals is to understand the necessities and provide a comprehensive response. Parents should be more present instead of letting their children suffer in silence. The world needs to start talking about suicide to create awareness. Teenagers should be empowered to live longer. Thomas E. Joyner from the Department of Psychology in Florida State University presented a method that should be more emphasized in suicide prevention. The Suicide Screen Program is based on a general health questionnaire that detects suicidal symptoms in young adults before they attempt to commit suicide. A simple daily question that provides moral support to young people can make them express their problems rather than drown in confusion and dark thoughts that fill their heads with suicide ideas. Schools should give more attention to every young adult, even if they don't seem to have any ideas about committing a suicide. So by providing better counseling and applying the Screen Suicide Program and questionnaire, students have more chance of expressing those aspects that are causing them concerns. By following this plan of action, you can prevent your child or many young adults in the world from ending their lives before even they start to live it. Lastly, I will briefly summarize the main points regarding suicide among young individuals, the risks as well as prevention methods that can eventually banish suicidal from this world. Teenagers choose the route of suicide because in their minds they're out of options. It's our job to provide the necessary support to those who are mentally unstable. I lost my best friend from one day to another. You can lose your loved ones even though you have the cure in your hands to stop it. Conservative people should look at the danger they are causing by not letting adolescents show their true selves. No one should be ashamed of who they are, misjudged or mistreated for their gender, culture, or sexual preference. In contrast, we should unite for a common cause and work together to stop suicides. Providing attention to adolescents who are mentally incapable of taking control of their actions, as well as creating awareness about suicide by asking questions about what goes through their minds, can answer their concerns and let them know that they're not alone, can save their lives. The world needs to stop supposing that young individuals are not at risk of mental disorders simply because they expect them to be planning their future, not their death. This has become one of the major reasons why suicidal rates are so high. There could be million reasons to live, but if your mind is not stable, the future start losing its importance.